All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing good today. Market's kind of up this morning. Nasdaq is at 23,574s. Apple's up. Amazon's up. Nvidia's up a little bit. Gold is also up. Gold is at 23,570. Gold is at 34.73 right now. So gold's pushing up. Apple is up as well. Apple at 222s, 221s. Nvidia at 182 roughly. So the market's doing pretty good. What's up, ST Pawn, Camille, Ryan, Nathan? Hey, good morning. Let me see what we got going on today. I don't think we really have any. Yeah, we don't really have any economic report. Ooh. All right, so the PBOC injects 122 billion. All right, so there's a summit between the U.S. president and President Putin. Could be happening as soon as next week, according to Fox, with sources noting that the summit was in the works as early as the coming Monday. Rome being discussed as a possible destination. Markets are waiting on CPI inflation data next week, expected to show whether inflation is cooling enough to warrant a possible rate cut in September, and that's a big story for next week that we're going to be covering here. If we look at the expectations for next week, I think looking at the potential expectations for next week are important. I'm going to put a poll up. Are you bullish or bearish? Does next week CPI come in higher or lower? Okay, so it's looking like CPI is expected at 2.8% year over year and 0.3% or 0.2% month over month. 2.8, which is a slight uptick year to year, and 0.2%, which is a slight decrease month to month. We'll just do the year over year one, 2.8%. Oh crap, hold on. Let me end this poll. Messed up. Okay, there we go. That's better. All right, there's the poll now live. The Draco's Dory Trey, Billy. Yeah, so we'll see if the summit goes on. Amazon up nice today, though. I deleted all my levels. I had too many levels on my charts. So we're looking at 700 up there. 5 right here. Probably got some confirmations. 75 right here. Probably relevant. Got 600 up here. Got maybe this isolated level right here at like 85. Got a bunch of support at 560. Gonna look at 550 also. Figure out what we want to do in the rest of this. Got some bottoms here. Around here. Alright. What we're looking at right now. Here's the 200 exponential. We're watching that. Gold's still falling down, but it's up today. It's elevated. And again, next week CPI inflation report's big. Yeah, looking at the earnings this morning, we had a couple stuff drop here. So let's take a look at what's happened this morning for earnings. Under Armour posted adjusted EPS of 2-cent profit. They expected 3 cents though. Revenue of 1.1 billion versus 1.13 billion. So they missed EPS and revenue for Under Armour. China President Xi held a phone call with Putin, according to CCTV. JP Morgan on the Fed said they bring forward its call now, see a 25 basis point cut in September, and then look for 3 subsequent 25 basis point cuts before pausing indefinitely. So they think they're going to cut 3 times and then pause indefinitely. We'll see if that happens. Today's the 8th. Yeah, so Bed Bath & Beyond, AutoZone, Under Armour are reporting earnings. Spotify, Salesforce. We're watching Spot. Salesforce, which is, what Salesforce is it? What's the symbol? CRM. Should have bought Salesforce yesterday. That was a big dip. And Salesforce is down a lot too. What's the Salesforce PE ratio? Gold is down a little bit today. I thought it was pushing up, but it's up a little bit over yesterday's period. It's at 34.70s. Got pretty high yesterday. Let me see. Oh wow, gold broke highs at yesterday's opening bell period. I didn't even realize that. Gold broke highs yesterday, got up to 35, 34. It's starting to decrease some. Oil, if we take a look at it, it's up a lot today. It's elevated. OPEC comments signaling continued supply restraint lifting energy stocks. Yeah, so again, gold ended up breaking all-time highs. Previous all-time high was 35.05, I believe, 35.05. Gold is flying higher on a report of gold bar tariffs. Swiss gold refiners under pressure. And so Swiss tariffs freaking people out. But yeah, the August 7th, yesterday's tariff still rattling markets. Yeah, I see some stuff that reported this morning. We've got Tempest. It came in weaker than expected or better than expected for EPS and revenue. Fubo, still waiting on Fubo. It drops in 3 minutes. Wolf, missed EPS, beat revenue. Wendy's beat EPS, beat revenue. Under Armour missed EPS, beat revenue. CGC, Canopy Growth Company, cannabis stock, missed beat EPS, beat revenue. Actually, I'm sorry. Where's CGC at right now? Dollar stock. Yeah, rising safe haven demand with gold. All right. Coffee. I needed it. Intel still moving markets after the president's comments yesterday about the CEO resigning. Mid-30s, both forward and existing for Salesforce. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it. I'm kind of interested in it. It's down a lot on a longer term chart. It's 2025. Yeah, so there's the Salesforce PE ratios. Forwards 33s, PE of trailing 12 month is 37.60s. Instacart says its grocery partners are starting to embrace more competitive pricing as demand forecast tops estimates. They also have Bowman speaking tomorrow. Next week's very busy. Palantir CEO sold off 50 more shares, really. All right, so there's 7:30. So we should have had what just dropped earnings at 7:30. I think it was Fubo. Fubo is dropping from their earnings report. All right, so Fubo just dropped. They delivered North America total revenue of 371.3, down 3% year over year, and 1.356 million paid subs, down 6.5% year over year. Second quarter, yeah. They're not really reacting good to this though. I think I still have Fubo as a subscription. I'm not sure yet though. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to check. Yeah, so officials are tentatively planning for a Trump and Putin summit at the end of this week or next week, according to sources familiar with it. They're looking at potential Switzerland, Rome, UAE. Russian president's first choice was Hungary. Turkey was discussed, but unlikely. Amazon's still doing very good, and so is Nvidia here. And remember, we bought these last week, or this week, I should say. Nvidia up nice, Amazon up nice. We're green at everything this morning, actually. Yeah, Crocs lost 2 cents a share. Or Fubo lost 2 cents a share, I mean. Fubo starting to come back up, though. Any major economic reports next week? Yes. So we have CPI, PPI, retail sales, Michigan consumer sentiment, jobless claims, and more. So it's a busy week next week for sure. A lot of stuff going on. Hey, what's up, Beach? Friday can sometimes be a sell-off day, but you never know. Yeah, if you gap up, sometimes we get a red day. It doesn't mean we will. You never know for sure. Look at the NASDAQ still reflecting this 575 level, 574. All right. And I know I go every time I drink coffee. I'm just really excited to hit the coffee. I needed it today. All right, so we're still rejecting at 575. Look at that. We can buy a pullback here. We're in a slightly upward trend. 200 exponentials at 563s right here. Kind of looking at that level. What's up, Sam? Yeah, do me a favor, y'all. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Faye, Sam, Jay, Alfred, Stiff, Steve, Michael, Rob, Kay, Beach Bum, Billy, Dragos, Fox, Fry, Coach, H, Ace, Brad, JC. Will the trade desk recover? I don't know, bro. Maybe. Yeah, we did kind of erase a lot of the sell-off. Amazon's still up big. Hims is still down, though. But the rest of the stuff we're in is pretty good. Like, we bought United Health. It's green. Yeah, so I should have bought this dip like I talked about, man. Maybe we get a 575 pullback, we'll attack it. Although we do have a triple top up there at like 580. Get a dip down to 575, we might buy it. We'll wait for it though. Market lows for the year heading into August. Why? Why do you think we'll hit market lows this year? I mean, I don't think so, but it's possible. I mean, the only way we're going to see market lows this week or this next few weeks is if inflation data ticks up higher than expected. If we take a look at bond yields just to get a look at where interest rates may be heading here. Interest rates have been edging higher since the 6th. You know, they were at about 4.21s, 4.22s. They're at 4.25s now, so they're edging slightly higher for yields. If we take a look at rate odds here this morning for September. Under 90% now, but 80, you could round up to 90%, I guess. 90-10 essentially is what we're looking at still for rates in September. Odds of a 25 basis point cut. We'll see. A lot of people calling for a nasty crash. People have been calling for a crash. We already crashed earlier this year. What's the justification in a crash? Why will we crash? Usually there's a reason when we have big volatility on the downside. Usually there's some reason. What's the reason this time? 2008 was mortgage failures, and some other stuff too, but mortgage failures. Yeah, I mean, the September month is known for a slump. This is called the September slump. Doesn't mean we always drop, but on average, we do contract some in September on average, right? When we average everything out, it's a slight decrease, net decrease in September. So we'll see. I'm still looking for a little pullback here. We don't really have one. NASDAQ's still pushing up. Where's the highs of the day here? Highs of the day, the 8th. So we're actually breaking highs of the day right now. We're testing it. Highs of the day, right around where we're at now. Been pushing up all morning. What are the all-time highs on the NQ right now? Okay, they're up here. $850 even, all-time high. Alright. You think seasonality is the reason we crash? I don't know. I think we need more of a reason for that. Alright, so we're breaking highs of the day right now. We just tapped over it. A little bit too high for me to want to buy this. I'll buy a pullback if we get one, but you guys red or green so far this week? It's been a pretty profitable week for me. I think on most of my funded accounts, I am on like a 5 or 6 day green streak. I have to check what it is. But yeah, I think I'm on a 6 day green streak on this account, but I'll have to check it. I'm trading a challenge account right now. It's a combine account. I'll throw it up just to play with this morning. It's a little early, but kind of shorting this top. Yeah, a little bit larger size here, I think. We get oil up there. Look at gold though. Gold broke all-time highs yesterday. Yeah, the trade desk down big, down to $60 a share from 90. gotta take a little bit larger size here, so we'll look for 575s and play with it, but it's a very small trade. And it's not gonna matter if we fail it. Alright, so the trade desk is down big right now. And again, so gold rallied to 3,500 an ounce, driven by geopolitical tensions, trade uncertainty as well. Bank of England's pill says clear decision was made to lower rates. Looking for that 575 level. That was going to be where we bought in, but I could also kind of use it as a profit target on the downside as well. I don't want to buy it too much here, and we could probably hold it break even. Try to get filled down there. You didn't get filled? I guess not. Yeah, so the U.S. unexpectedly imposed 39% tariffs on 1 kilo and 100-ounce gold bars, primarily impacting specifically Switzerland, the world's largest gold refining hub. Yeah, so import tariff is what's dragging markets down. Alright, so we're still breaking down. We're almost at the level I wanted here, but we kind of bounce pretty... Every time we get close to it, we bounce. So... I wanted to buy it. I might be a little disappointed we didn't catch it. Start to maybe average in. All right, we took one trade here in our actual funded account. I'll show it. We might add one more to this. Oh, we got to spike up like we wanted, but not really enough. Again, the new tariffs apply to 1 kilo and 100-ounce gold bars. Hit a new high of approximately 35, 34 an ounce, widening the price. Sometimes you just got to show AI why it's wrong. Yeah, but Todd, you also have to understand the nature of everything. I'm not saying you're wrong about crashing. What I'm trying to say is that in every market, almost universally, somebody thinks we're going to crash. And somebody puts it out there that we're going to crash. You got to understand what is driving finance media. And from somebody that kind of operates in like a space that you might consider finance media, you have to think about it like this. People want clicks. They want views. They want attention. Okay? And so if they tell you, hey, markets are good, you might not click it, especially, I would say, older people. And so what makes people click it's the end of the world, it's doom and gloom, the market's gonna crash, you better watch this before the market turns, dun dun dun, you know, like that makes people click, that makes people tune in. And so because of that, you have an overabundance of that type of news media coming out there, and usually they're wrong, right? Like, you know how many people have said we were gonna crash every year for the last 5 years straight? It doesn't mean we will. You know, it just doesn't mean we will. And so you got to take any crash predictions from especially banks or the finance media with a grain of salt, because most of the time they're wrong. And again, I'm not saying they're wrong this time. They might be right this time. You keep throwing darts at a dartboard, eventually you might hit it. So they could be right this time, but they also might not. And so anytime I hear people predicting crashes, they're almost always wrong. And so I always have to take that into account and understand, like, yo, they're probably wrong, but you never know. Blockbuster had the same mentality. I'm not sure if you're talking to me. Blockbuster failed because it was rendered obsolete by technology, and it refused to look at technology in the face, right? I would actually argue more so, and again, if we had like data pointing to a crash, sure, let me hear it. I'm open to hear it. And again, I'm not even saying people who are predicting crashes are wrong this time. I'm just saying you don't want to just buy into every crash prediction. I know it might be the exciting thing, somebody thinking they know the market's going to crash when nobody else does. But again, I'm telling you, I've been streaming for years. We rarely crash. Most of the time when people predict crashes, they're wrong. Yeah, I love The Big Short too. Great movie, honestly. Genuinely great movie. And if we do crash, I'll buy the dip. You know. It's weird how the market keeps pumping for no reason. I wouldn't say it's pumping for no reason. You got to understand the true nature of finance is that the stock market, if we're talking about specifically blue chip stocks, indexes, indices, NASDAQ, S&P, Dow, those things are going to go up over time. That is the nature of the movement of those things. They average 8 to 10% a year, including crash statistics. And so they're going to go up over time. They don't need a reason to break all-time highs. That's what they do normally, right? And you certainly don't want to fall into that group of people who short the market long-term, because that is one of the biggest sucker bets ever in markets. You know, even if you're right about that, you know, we got bigger problems, you know. And so you just got to understand. Maybe they're right. If they are, I'm going to buy more. All right, so now we're going to average into our level. The range is so small right now. So we can take a small little trade and see what happens and cut it if it doesn't work. Yeah, we're almost green here. Amazon pushing up. All right, so we're kind of flat on this position now. I do want to see if it holds that 575 level. If it doesn't, I'm going to cut some of this. But the range, honestly, in the market is very slow right now, even though we're right around all-time highs. Yeah, I mean, funded account programs are valuable because almost all day traders lose money. And so you can get started for 50 bucks. If you fail and lose money, like most day traders do, you're out 50 bucks versus what do you need to fund like a day trading worthy account? If it's in stocks, you need 25K plus. If it's in futures, you still need thousands, and your risk is just less. You know, you can lose 50 bucks. It's not the end of the world. And some traders are going to lose 50 bucks and then stop day trading overall. And I think that's a good thing because it's cheaper than them funding 2, 3, 4, 5K into an account and losing that. It gets them around the PDT rule. And yeah, most day traders lose. And if they do pass the test, they get paid 90% split once they build up profits after that. So, I mean, I think it's the best of both worlds. It's limited risk, you know, similar reward to funding your own account. And so there's a reason the funded account space is growing. And that's why. It's because it gives people another option. The PDT rule innately is stupid. You're making a new trader who doesn't have any type of risk management skills drive the equivalent of a Rolls Royce in a $25,000 account for their first account day trading ever. It's stupid. It makes absolutely no sense. See, now we're pushing up again. Here, I'm going to add to this. Just one. But yeah, it just makes absolutely no sense. I'll try to hold the rest of this break even now, though, so... PDT stands for the pattern day trading rule. It states that if you want to be able to day trade more than 3 times a rolling 5-day period in stocks, you need over 25 in a margin account. You need over $25,000 to do it. Stupidest rule ever. Dumbest rule ever. They say it's helping traders. It's not. It's making traders trade a much larger account than they should be in the very beginning. It's dumb. Really, it's meant to let banks sit on your money longer. If we're talking, you know, actual what's going on. I have a stop loss. I'm holding it. It's a mental stop. I'm just watching it. It's a very small trade, and so I'm just kind of this is a little scalp, but I will mark it out of this thing very fast if I need to. All right, so we got out of 1 right there. If we can hold the rest. We'll hold the rest very almost certainly break even now. I wanted 575. It bounced at 574, but the range is so small. Yeah, I mean, even if it gets reduced to $2,000, there's still a need for it to get around that too. But I'm for it getting reduced. I really am. Again, I've been in the trading game a long time. PDT rule made me lose a bunch of money in the beginning. It's just the dumbest rule you could ever have in finance. It's like, hey, if you got a brand new driver that's never driven a car before, I'm going to cut this flat. If you got a brand new driver that's never driven before, are you going to say, hey, you can only drive a Rolls Royce for your first car? Of course you're not, you know? Like, of course you're not. Like, I see these people that are buying their kids, like, these brand new Porsches and, like, all this other stuff. And they've got to be the dumbest freaking parents I've ever met. Just dumb, you know? Get your kids something that they... Look, I beat up my first car. The first time I learned to drive ever, I peeled out in reverse, learning to drive a 5-speed. You beat up your first few cars. You don't... same thing with trading. You beat up your first few accounts. You know, you deposit money, you're probably going to lose it day trading. Makes no sense to make traders who don't have any risk management skills trade a much larger account than they're ready for their first account just to get around the PDT rule. And you could say, oh, well, don't get around the PDT rule. You can only trade 3 times a week. In day trading, there's so much variance. There's so much, you need a large sample size. 3 trades is not going to cut it. And so you want to let somebody get real exposure to day trading. Let them trade a small account, you know. Let them get around the PDT rule. Let them trade a small account. I'm for it. Again, so according to CBS sources, the U.S. is still working on a site for the president and Putin to meet. UAE and Rome are possibilities. FOMC tonight announcement? No. No, it's not. There's no FOMC announcement. Yeah, the trade test is down big. I might buy this dip too. I've been looking at AI and asking it, what is the TTD PE ratio? And so it'll give me the price, but also forward and backwards PE. At about an $88 price, PE is currently the problem with the trade desk is that according to AI, the PE ratio is at over $100 a share for the trade desk. Over $100 a share. Now back at 60. It's currently at what? $60 a share. Maybe at 60 a share is going to be a little bit better. But that's a 25% dip. So if we reduce their PE ratio by 25 bucks, it's going to be like it's going to still be like 75, 80 PE. 72 is what AI is saying. Roughly 72 PE ratio. So still high, still not cheap. But there might be a rebound bounce for Trade Desk. I just don't know much about TTD as a company to want to buy this. Yeah, I mean, CPI inflation data is going to immediately impact markets in some way. We don't know in what way, but at least to a certain extent, we're going to get some movement. You know, and again, if you guys see anything that looks cheap, that looks like justifiable to buy, let me know. TTD is just a little bit too risky right now with the PE ratio being still pretty high and their bad earnings fiasco, I think. But it might bounce still. It doesn't matter. Sometimes earnings don't matter. Citigroup also downgraded them from buy. Adjust price target to 65 from 90. Yeah, PLTR up to 184s, almost 185s this morning, so it's been flying up. AMC's down. Oh, dude, I keep yawning this morning. Chilean inflation just came out. Nasdaq's very slow, man. We're not really moving at all. We got a lot of tech that's up, though. Tom Sosna from Tasty Trade saying at times like this, you do get a lot of speculative fever. I mean, we're at all-time highs. We recently broke all-time, or not all-time highs, I'm sorry. We recently broke highs of the day. So we broke highs of the day right here at 581, 582 or so. You can see that we haven't really tested that this morning. But now we're kind of falling down. It looks like me cutting my trade where I did made sense too. We're kind of flat. But the market's a little slow for sure today. Not really moving much. All right, so the Bank of England's pill says scope to lower rates is limited by weak supply growth. All right, so look at that dip. So we came all the way back down to the 200 exponential. We can buy this here. Take 4, maybe add 6 contracts tops. There we go. Let's see if we can hold up there. We're really not getting much range. Maybe we can take a little piece of this off up there. Okay, we're gonna wait. We add a little bit more to this, like I said, maybe 2. We're gonna sit there just because we're at the 200 exponential. Unless this news is catalyst driven, I'll give it a chance. If we surge back up. Even though I lost that last trade, it was very break even. The range is so small that like there's not a lot of money here. I'm hoping we push up though and rebound a little bit at least. It would confirm the choppiness that we've seen. There we go. That's a little better. Nvidia popped back up a little bit too. Yeah, we just cracked the 200 exponential. Let's see what we do here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut this. Still very small, but just not getting that follow through bounce. I thought we might rebound back up to retest highs, but it's all good. We still might, but I don't really have a bounce level until we hit 560s. Oh, is Mitch in the chat? Sorry, bro. I'm not even looking at the chat. Hey, my guy Mitch. What's up, dude? I mean, I can teach you futures. I'm the top 3 worst trader ever, Mitch, but I can teach you. You want to hop on, bro? Hop on, dude, if you want, man. You got time? I mean, I'm down today, so don't top 3 worst in trader ever today, but yeah, I'm gonna try this trade. If this trade doesn't work out, I'll probably wait like a big amount of time. All right, so we're still breaking down. I'm probably gonna have to cut this. I could wait until 560 bounce, but yeah, we're kind of aggressively breaking down now, so I think we could bounce at 560. What I've been doing this lately, I've been just using my levels to guide me here, but I kind of jumped in. I deleted all my levels and then redrew them this morning, so that might be why I'm down today too. Yeah, all good, brother. All good, man. Okay. Yeah, 9 a.m. works, bro. All right, so Mitch is coming on at 9 o'clock. You've got way better at trading. Yeah, I mean, today I'm down, but I've actually been pretty good green streak-wise. Like, I'm pretty good. I have to stick to my levels, though. Like, the levels that I draw on my charts, I have to stick with them. And I have to be patient and let them work. Because usually, you know, we do react to the levels at least a little bit. And I think that gives me some edge. Like, we talked about 560. We kind of broke underneath it a little bit. But 560 is kind of another level I have. Look at all the confirmation at 560 here. So, but again, we're on like a 6-day green streak, I think, in this account. So, I mean, I don't know, though. I'm not going to take too much risk in it. I don't want to, you know, give it back. Yeah, we're so choppy this morning, though. Yeah, it's still early. I would buy this right here, to be honest, this 560 level again. But again, I took too much risk already. I gotta just wait. Here. And we'll see if it's the right move or not. It might keep breaking down. Remember, guys, I'm not an investment professional. Might have no idea what I'm talking about. Might be wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. Do not copy me. Definitely not an investment professional. Downtown. Excuses? Excuses for what? Okay. Here, let me get you up. Let me get you up, Mitch. Hold on, brother. Swiss government says tariff discussions with the U.S. are ongoing and discussions have been focused on reducing the additional U.S. tariffs. Let me make sure there's another drive in the market. I'm gonna get you on. Okay, give me. Let me check the news and then I'm gonna get Mitch on. Mitch can come on now, so hold on. There's 550. Swiss aircraft maker Pilatus pauses U.S. deliveries due to tariffs. I think it's just more tariff fears right now going on. SOFR rate came in at 4.35, a little bit higher for August 7th. Alright. Wait, where did the Zoom thing go? All right, let me get Mitch in here, guys. Sorry, I'm trying to get Mitch in here. So we did bounce right at 550, and this is what I'm saying. This level didn't hold at 560. Looks like it was a good thing that I waited. We did bounce a little bit at 550. Hold on, let me. Those tools, chat, participants, invite. All right. All right, we're getting Mitch in here. Just once we get in here, let me know the volume. DBAI. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for cheap stocks. Maybe I'll ask Mitch for some cheap stocks. And again, if you haven't already, check out Top Step. Beautiful way to help support the channel. If you want to learn to day trading, this is what I'm saying. Top Step's just useful. No PDT rule. Get you around the PDT rule. $50 a month for the base one. If you pass it, you get a 50K funded account, 90% split. They pay out millions, fund thousands. Just incredibly useful to limit risk when you're learning how to day trade. Tons of resources while you're doing it. And learning to trade in a structured environment like that just makes sense. Regardless of what anybody says, it just makes sense. If you fail, it's not the end of the world. If you pass it, similar reward to funding your own account. You get to keep your first 10K once you pass it, and profits after you pass it, and then 90% split. They just got their new dashboard. You get real-time updates, adds resets once you, or pushes back your rebuild date once you add resets. You can track payouts, so much more stuff on their new dashboard. I'll put the link up in chat if you want to help support the channel. They are a sponsor of mine. I'm biased because I get paid by them, but genuinely useful. Honestly, genuinely useful. You can check it out. Understand all this stuff on screen, guys. Yeah, Trade Desk is down a lot. The problem with the Trade Desk right now, in my opinion, is the problem with it is the PE ratio. To me, the PE ratio is a little high. A little high. I bought Crocs, actually. Let me see if I'm green in Crocs. I'm still slightly red in it, but I did add a little bit and take profit and fix my average, so I'm mostly flat. But again, the big news is the gold news propelling gold higher. Gold broke all-time highs yesterday morning. But yeah, the NASDAQ is still flushing down, kind of giving it all back now. And I definitely don't want to hold Crocs long term. I talked about this yesterday. I don't want to hold Crocs long term because holding Crocs long term, it's just a fashion brand. I'm not really trying to get involved with a fashion brand like that long term. There's just too much risk in holding that long term. NASDAQ's still flushing down here. We're gonna have to draw some new levels, but we got one at here. We'll see what happens. But we're seeing a steep turn down on the NASDAQ here. I mean, my son wears Crocs, but he's 11. And so, all right, we're gonna let Mitch in here. Hey, what's up, Mitch? Hold on, bro. Let me get you set up here, dude. Let me exit out of this. There you go. Hold on.
Popping out the chat so I can see them too.
Yeah, there you go. You're in here, I think. Hold on, let me move gold. Yeah, there we go. That's good.
Put me right on top of gold. Gold is hot, baby.
You're on gold, man. Listen, you're sitting on it right now. Let me check the chat. Chat, how's the volume here with Mitch?
Yeah, man. I've been trading gold since last week, Friday. AU. That's the ticker to know, man. If you like stocks and you like trading gold, of course you can trade, the future and gold. But AU is a leading stock.
Yeah.
It's really good to watch, man. I'm telling you, it's one of my favorite stocks for anything that's like a change in trend. You got to have these types of stocks that when something happens, right, a change in trend, it could be like an underlining asset like gold, right? It makes a fast move. It's a momentum player. And so you don't play these unless you see momentum come in. But like AU, now you can see it. And then you see all the other gold players kind of lag behind AU.
Yeah. Here's AU stock right here.
It's a really nice one, guys.
Yeah, man, gold up after those tariffs on the Swiss. Swiss produce gold bars and gold shipments to the U.S., imports to the U.S. Now there's higher tariffs on them. So Swiss and the U.S. are trying to get a deal done now, but that made gold break all-time highs yesterday morning at the opening bell. So does Mitch need to be a little bit louder?
What's up, guys?
Here, I'll turn him up a little bit.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Mic check.
Yeah. Mic check, 2, 1, 2. What's going on, guys? Let me share a screen at least also, if you guys want. I can share a screen in between. We don't need to go to it, but just at least so that we have it ready.
Yeah, I got you.
But yeah, I think that we could get a little bit of a pullback towards the open now that we've had this little morning little rally, right? So you're getting this washing.
Right.
A lot of the action's happening overnight. I'm sure you're seeing that. So if you wake up early, you might get the best trade, right?
Yeah.
A lot of what I'm seeing also is that common strategy of, like, if it's a weekday in the market, they're buying the close and selling at the open.
Nice.
Common strategy. I
Sure.
know a trader that's doing that even today, right?
No, it makes sense. We haven't had a lot of gap downs in markets overnight, really. It's been a lot of gap ups. I do see some news that just came out. The Brazilian government defined it's implementing a four-pronged strategy to respond to the tariff hike imposed on Brazil by the administration of current U.S. president, according to CNN Brazil. So more breaking news there for tariffs, but no, 100%.
I'm looking for any gigs. Pew pew. I'm a wedding DJ. Let's go.
Yeah. I could be the wedding singer here. I could be like Adam Sandler, you know. Mitch is the DJ, you know.
Oh, trust me. We'll be the wedding crashers.
Let me know our names in chat right now. Let me know the name of our duo there, you know. Mitch, you see the S&P?
SPY retest the previous all-time high? Oh, hell yeah. At some point. But the key here is that now it's not easy sledding anymore. Are you guys noticing that? It's not just easy anymore. And I think that that's what you got to really understand, is that we're in this market where a few will drive the most now. And I think we're getting definitely into the later parts of the year. Now we're getting towards what? We're almost to September, guys. Believe
September
it or
slump.
not, it'll come really fast. And the next thing you know, it'll be 2026, guys.
Bro.
So we
I'm not
might
ready.
have had already the gains in the year, right? I think that there's potential for 650 on the SPY, but that's like the ceiling I think I could see. So I think that what we really need to do here is really look for names that maybe haven't taken off to take off, or maybe new momentum players, not the old ones, right? I mean, I know a lot of people are still playing names like Palantir, but there's newer ones that have just taken off recently and had sideways consolidation. I'll give you guys one name to look at, like SoFi. Recently had a nice little run, has been going sideways through all this like recent little chop that we're going through, which is what you want to see, is that your stock went sideways there, didn't just quickly pull back. So that's what you want to be watching for, that sideways consolidation. What it does is it allows things like RSI, because what did you see spoken on Friday? Oh, but everything's overbought. Everything's overbought. Well, if things go sideways, essentially the RSI goes down anyways. So they can't have that argument anymore of overbought, and then things can just go higher. So.
See, people were whispering about crashes this morning. I tried to tell them, like, look, we certainly could crash, but there's always somebody whispering about crashes. It's certainly possible right now. I'm sorry I got the Christmas music playing. Hold on. I don't know where this is coming
you're
from.
good, my friend.
But yeah, what do you think?
What are you still using? You still using the epidemic sound? I saw your
yes,
tunes
sir.
were jamming earlier.
Dude, I
was
got
with the chat. The chat was like, yo, the tunes are on point this morning.
Yeah, man. I've got like a 2-year playlist that I've been building. It's got like thousands of songs on here. So I just let it play now. I just let it play. People always ask me where I get it, but yeah, epidemic sounds. Solid.
DJ Money.
Yeah.
MCBT.
MCBT. Yeah. Yeah, what do you think about the big news this morning in stocks was the trade desk getting absolutely destroyed, bro. This thing is down what, like 40%, 30%, down from $90 all the way to $60. That's 30%. Yeah.
I was concerned about these kind of companies because the truth is we've gone through now a real adjustment in a lot of things in advertising, right? We first went through that like cookies game. Remember when Google kind of changed their permissions, and then you needed to, now you go to any website and the first thing they ask you is, can we take your cookies?
Right, 100%. Every website.
Yeah, every website, right? And so what happened there is now the shift is actually happening because of AI. Right? So AI is actually coming into advertising like big now. You're going to start seeing a lot more advertising, and it's not created by a human. It's just created by AI. And that's going to be the future of a lot of things. And so that's what's causing this downturn. The other thing is there's a lot of alternatives here, and they're not just the leader. They were the leader in the old time advertising, the digital advertising that was going on with this whole cookie game. But now with AI, things are going to adjust here. And I think that that's what you're seeing here. The company take a hit because they're not leading in that new tech for AI advertising. And you need to be watching to see who can, right? And so in this case, I think they're going to struggle for some time. It's still TTD. It's not a bad company to own in the long term. You just want to be looking at monthly charts and really waiting for a longer term support.
Yeah, so high PE ratio too.
Yeah, for me, this needs to get underneath 39, and then it looks a lot better. And then you can start going back into 2019 pricing. And the truth is that it's a kind of a landscape that's changing above them, and they don't understand where to go, and so they need to figure that out first.
No, 100%. Just to cover some breaking news that just happened. So I'm seeing a couple reports here. One of them is that India is pausing plans to buy U.S. arms and defense after the president's tariffs, according to Reuters. And then the president has ruled out the possibility of negotiations with India until the issue of tariffs is resolved. And I think that is probably what's driving some of this big turn negative in the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is breaking down. I'm seeing another report that say India has paused its deal to buy 6 additional Boeing surveillance aircrafts from the U.S. after the 50% tariff hike. I think that's probably what, this started about 15 minutes ago, and I think that's what's driving this move. I might be wrong, but you can see the NASDAQ's breaking down, SPY's breaking down. I think it's because of the India tariffs. India's a big country, man. They got a lot of people, I've said it before, U.S. doesn't want to lose their business necessarily, and they don't want to lose ours, and so we'll see what happens, but yeah, I think that's causing this pullback.
One of the things that I would say is that the tariff situation, I don't think the market cares necessarily about tariff headlines. It only cares about what could happen on the after effects of tariffs.
Sure.
And so we've gotten to the point where we're numb to tariff headlines. And so when you get numb to the headline, what you really want to look at is how does inflationary data change? Everyone's now data dependent also. They're starting to actually focus on that, right? So unless you see inflation trickle up, I wouldn't stress too much about the tariffs at this point. And a lot of people are full on Trump taco, right?
Yeah.
Where they just don't believe anything he says anymore. And the market doesn't believe either. 100%. If you realize, I feel like the market's already priced in a lot of these deals. When it's a change like this, where it's India going from 25 to 50, yes, that makes an impact. But really think about, what do we really bring from India? There's not much, guys. It's mainly coming from China, right? And 100%. So I think unless it's a China 50%, right? Things like that could be an adjustment that would definitely shake things. But what have you been seeing more and more of? And just recently, yesterday and the day before with the Apple news, that's more important than all this tariff talk.
How's it going to impact stocks?
Yeah, that Apple news, it left a door open for any tech company to find a way to bend the rules and get outside of tariffs. So essentially, tariffs don't matter anymore if you leave a door for me to get into it and get around it. So now watch all the companies, they're going to try to figure out some way to say that they're investing here so that they're around the tariffs. And then you saw Donald kind of say that he'll go back to these companies if they don't actually invest.
Right.
But what if they just wait for year 4?
Sure.
Like, that's why Apple gave a 4-year outlook. Trump only has 3 years left. So they could backload the investment for year 4, just in case there's a new president or the Democrats win.
Right.
Yeah, the
He's
Democrats
more friendly.
win. And then they could pull that money off. They could just say, no, we're not going to invest it anymore.
I think the stock will go down. I don't know. I think maybe the stock might go up. It's going to be better margins overseas. And so like that, it might actually help the stock. Just to give you this other news. So I just talked about the India defense and all that stuff. I've seen another article that says the news that India is pausing talks related to defense purchases with the U.S. is false and fabricated. And so contradictory news stories here. But no, I absolutely agree with you. China's the big one. And just to clarify, China's the big one, guys, because of lithium and other rare earths and minerals in earth. So that's why China is such a big deal for us, is because they control the lithium. And, we use lithium for so many different types of batteries now, like drone batteries, everything uses lithium batteries that has any type of significant charging power and time. So yeah. Yeah, it's important.
That you got to always look at the leeways and small details, guys. That's what I like to focus on. Small details. It's not the major news. Read the articles and try to find a small snippet of things. I've been talking about chip exports for so long, and what did you see more and more talk of? Just chip exports. What did AMD tell you on their report? Well, guys, if they just take away the chip exports, we get 800 million to the bottom line.
Yeah, and that's a big number.
Mil.
Yeah,
that's a quick change of expectations, right? So whenever you're looking for quick trades, fundamental change like that can make big impacts on the bottom line, which also affect what analysts' expectations, because analysts can't add something to their expectation that doesn't exist, right?
100%. Yeah.
Their guidance and their EPS outlook is more based on actual facts that they have versus how a company like AMD can tell you there, if we get that taken off, it's 800 mil real quick to the bottom line. The analysts would quickly come out with re-ratings if that would happen to 100%. Adjust. But by the time they do that, the stock's already higher, right?
Right. They got to play that game of. They want the analysts to actually have low expectations for them so they can just destroy those expectations and come in good and push the stock up. Sorry, Mitch, go ahead.
No, you're completely right. And I think it's interesting. I'm catching the chat. The chat's smart here, guys. I'm not trying to be kind of jumping on here, but this guy, Pew Pew, I've been looking at some of the messages that he's writing. I'll give you a shout out for that. App Lovin', good mention there.
Yeah,
you know, sometimes, APP. You see this taking off, right? So find these software companies that are on takeoff mode, right? Like Oracle, AppLovin. These probably aren't going to slow down anytime soon. Why? Because they're mastering AI, right? You want to look at the companies that are starting to master AI, have really got it underneath their belt. A lot of AI agents coming out, things like that. But AppLovin, Oracle, those are two names to kind of keep focused on.
So, Mitch,
there's gonna be NVIDIA type moves. These are those types.
I wanted to ask you, Mitch, about the revisions. What did you think about the payroll revisions and rate cut odds for September? Massive revisions on Friday, 258,000 revised down for non-farm payrolls and just payrolls in general. So massive payroll revisions on Friday. It kind of contradicted some of what Powell said, but to be honest, Powell might not have had that data either. And so what do you think about all that?
I think it's really interesting, the data conversation. We're going to come into a point here where the pressure is so strong coming from the White House that we are all starting to think like, are they twisting and turning these numbers, right? Even Trump's saying it, right? A lot of people are looking at it. People got fired because they gave bad numbers, right? We're in a different time, guys. So I think that you have to wait to get these numbers because they're going to be all over the place. I think that, AI is going to cause at some point a big unemployment spike. When does that come? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows, man.
Honestly, knows. I can't act like I know. I can't act like anybody else knows, but will it come? Yes.
Yeah, well, we saw jobless claims yesterday came in at 226, higher than expected, higher than last time. And that's a more, like, jobless claims is one of the most real-time updates to unemployment. And it came in high yesterday, so.
Yeah, a theme, of course, and I mentioned SoFi, but look at also like a firm and a stock called Tree, which is Lending Tree. Things like this are really ripping. There's a reason why, guys. The big, beautiful bill really opened the door for lending. Some might say that's a good thing. Some might say get ready for another financial crisis. But the gas pedal is on now. So 100%. Lending companies have the ability to lend to people and consumers that they couldn't do before this bill.
Sure. Yeah, Canadian unemployment rates coming out just now dropped at 6.9%. Previous was 6.9%, kind of flat. Talking about unemployment. This is Canadian unemployment. Sometimes it can mirror us, but their numbers are a little bit high compared to us. But yeah, 6.9%.
The unemployment spike in AI definitely seems like a financial crisis. Yeah. It could come down the line, but it's going to take some time, right?
Sure.
It's kind of like, the truth of the matter is like when you go to everything and everything's AI, that's the moment.
100%. And it's kind of like the dot-com crash, right? The dot-com crash, the internet really started in 95, right? You might be able to call that Yeah, really it started a little bit earlier than that, like 94, 95. By the time 2000 rolled around, so 5 or 6 years later, really it was like 2000, 2001. So 5, 6, 7 years later, that's when we got the big, massive correction from the internet crash, the dot-com crash, which was one of the longest bear markets in history following it. So following it, we had one of the longest bear markets in history. I would say AI started really to be decent 2021, 2022. And so if you go by that standard 5, 6 years, you know, we're looking at 27, you know, maybe earlier, maybe later, if we're going to get a dot-com like correction.
All right. How about 832? Was there any 830 numbers? I didn't think there was.
No,
right?
no, there's no data today.
Right?
No data today. Next week, CPI, big one.
Next week. Yeah. At 10 a.m. there is, I think, a speech today by St. Louis Fed president. So keep on that. That could be something that's interesting. So 10 a.m. Fed talk. Expect that to maybe be something that they're looking for. Everyone's looking for Fed talk right now because what's happened, of course, Trump is doing that appointed Fed member, right? So I even read this from an economist, and I'm not, you know, acting like I'm the smartest guy here that knows this, but his insight was really smart. He said, what if Trump tries to really push him in really quickly and start to push on that dissent? Because the only way that he can get rate cuts right now, he realizes it's not from Jerome. So he needs to convince all the other Fed members to want to cut, and they can override Jerome Powell.
For sure.
Right?
It's a vote. It's a vote, 100%.
So that's the focus now. Watch how you start to see more pressure, not necessarily on stupid Powell, but to start shifting over to trying to help and make nice comments to these other Fed members. Get the appointed ones, the ones that are already against Jerome. He doesn't need a turn. He just needs to turn like one more.
Yeah, they got Bowman. They got Bowman. Who else dissented? It was Waller and Bowman dissented.
Yeah.
So they're already on the side of rate cuts.
Point one, right? Now you have 3. You get one more, and it's done.
Sure.
And it doesn't matter what Jerome wants.
I think even Jerome's got to be willing to cut rate. I've always explained it to the chat. So the only way we're not going to cut rates in September is if next week's CPI inflation report, it's expected at 2.8%. That is a slight uptick from, I think it was 2.7% last time. And it's expected to actually go down month to month. One of the big ways we're not going to see a rate cut next month in September is if that inflation data next week on Tuesday and Thursday comes in noticeably higher than expected. We get 3% inflation, 0.4, 0.5% month over month data. For both core and regular, you know, that's going to certainly push the odds of a rate cut in September down, as well as, like, we're going to get one more payroll report after these big revisions last Friday. It's going to be towards the end of this month, and so we still got some time for that. But if that data shows strong payrolls, although I do think the market's going to be more skeptical if that happens, but if that happens, it's going to push back the odds too. So if you want rate cuts, you want low inflation and weak payrolls, you know, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, the key is that everybody expects inflation to show up fast when it never shows up fast. It takes a long time. It's very trickled down. I learned this in kind of the expectations that when we were expecting inflation to come down, right? How long did it take for it to come down? It took a long time. And so I think that in this case, this is why Jerome is handcuffed here. Yes, he could make a call that inflation's coming down now, but what he really needs to do is make a call is if inflation's going to come down in 6 months from now, not now. And so that's his main problem, is that every time he thinks he can make that call, what happens? Trump does something like he did just now, where he's like, now I want to tariff India 50%. So that just leaves the door open for more inflation in the data. And so with him, he's just handcuffed. So he's like, until I know a clear path of fiscal policy, I can't give you true monetary policy.
Right.
And it works
100%.
like that, right? They need to be working hand in hand, not against each other. So I understand what Trump is saying. He's like, hey, Jerome, you're working against me. And he is. But he's worried about inflation. And Trump is worried nowhere near about inflation.
Oh, Trump wasn't. Yeah.
gas pedal, right?
He just wants a strong economy. He wants that bragging, hey, look at GDP, look at unemployment under my watch. That's what he wants.
He's a Fast and Furious kind of guy, right?
100%, yeah.
He has that NOS button ready to go. And he's just like, dude, I'm
Yeah.
trying to hit the NOS button, and you're over here trying to put my seatbelt on. You know what I mean?
Right. And honestly, inflation's a risk too still. Like, inflation's a risk. We've seen prices go up a lot.
Inflation's always a risk.
100%.
It's just the way that business cycles run, right? Like, business cycles run, you can always hit the gas pedal. But
Sure.
that causes a reaction, right? There's like, it's just like everything, right? If you really push on, let's say, just a quick analogy, on a sports team, right? I can make this sports team do really crazy things for like 1 or 2 years. But what ends up happening is they get too expensive, and then you have to break that team apart.
Right.
It's the same way that the economy works. You can put a bunch of gas pedal to the economy, but eventually it starts to break apart and it starts to come down.
Like the Astros, they took who'd they sell on the Astros? They sold them to the Cubs. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
It's how it works, guys. But so, and that's why we need to be looking for when monetary policy starts to align with fiscal policy, which will create tailwinds for this already bull market, right? And so I think to think bearish here, you have to see actual things breaking versus thinking that they're going to break. And I'm a bear. Sure. I'll say it. The internal bear in me leans to the bear side. But it tells me also, I've seen the markets for too long, guys. Actually wait to start seeing things break before you try to assume that they're going to break is the better way to play it, because markets tend to go higher, not tend to go lower. If it was the opposite, then I'd say the opposite. Then you tend to play downside and wait to see upside. But here you ride the waves. Where there's strength is where you want to be in this market. And I think that's the important thing to look at. Like right now, the financials are getting wrecked. Well, just get the hell out. Industrials even getting wrecked now, and just get the hell out, right? Yeah. It's the ever rotation market, and that's how a bull market is run. You'll see when one sector just gets hit, some money starts trickling to defensive, some money goes to technology, some money was even going into energy names, right? Like utility names. So you'll always see this rotation when it's a global bull market.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, we'll see. And again, I think the market can do. I'm not really interested in buying up a lot of stuff right now. I'm just not. Like, we talked about this earlier. I've been looking for discounts. Like, I bought United Health the other day, which is down big. I bought Crocs yesterday, which is down big. I bought Apple, which was on a pullback after earnings. What else did I buy? I bought PayPal, which was down big. And so I'm looking for discounts. I don't really want to buy Mag 7 as much right now. And I got out of Apple already. I bought Amazon, which was down big from earnings. Those are the only two Mag 7 stocks I'm interested in. But we could certainly keep breaking highs. It doesn't mean we won't. A lot of it's going to depend on the economic developments here, especially with next week's CPI report and more. And so I'm just going to kind of sit on my hands here. I don't really I like DCAing on dips. If we crash, I'll buy the dips. I like buying the dips. But for now, it's a little bit
That's what you do. That's what you
100%.
do. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? I think it's true. All right, guys, it's 8:39. I'll probably let John run with the stream here, but I will give you guys a little bit. If you guys want to just do a quick ticker time, let's get this chat buzzing. I want to see everybody wake up, throw one ticker, or maybe it's just an outlook or comment you guys want me to touch on. We can just do a little rapid fire.
Yeah, hey. Ask the questions
the chat
now.
was asking about FOMC members. I know that you're all about like answering things like that.
Sure.
Someone was asking, is there 9 voting members? There's 7, right?
Yeah.
7 of the voting members are the board of governors. They're called.
And they're the head of the regional banks, basically. Sometimes.
So.
Yeah.
This is the stuff that you come and learn right here on Beginner Trading. Like, that's exactly what my man John teaches. So I think it's important to know that, right? And that's why we're talking about how there's 2 people, right? You appoint one, then you lean one over. Right. Then you now have 4 votes, right? Then Jerome can be on that 3 side, and it just like, well, who cares what you say, Jerome? We're going to do this anyways.
That's right. Yeah. And again, I think he's up for it now. I think if he doesn't cut rates, I think if we continue the trend of economic reports.
They're waking up. They're waking up.
Yeah.
All right. All right. How about we do this? I'm gonna put my charts big.
Yeah, I got you.
You tell me the ticker. I will keep running through it, and we'll have some fun here, guys.
Yeah. Here, let me make myself really small over here. There you go.
Yeah, and I'll put mine as big as possible. There you go. And let's kick things off. I see the first one was, I think, in the chat, Lily. So we can start maybe there.
Oh, yeah, Eli Lilly. They are down big. Just if I remember correctly, they're down big after their weight loss drug did not meet some of its endpoints. You know, they got into the weight loss drug business and they struggled because their weight loss drug apparently didn't perform as they wanted it to. That caused a big drop in Eli Lilly a few days ago, and they're still down pretty significantly from it.
100%. And if you look inside that news, what was I think more of the, like, you know, I like to catch the key details. To me, my key detail in that report was not more of that they didn't meet the trials, was more the comment that 10%, I think it was like 10.1%, stopped doing the trial because of negative psychological side effects. These are things that I've been mentioning that have been happening with these weight loss drugs that are being under the rug and not talked about, that they're causing a lot of like mental health issues. And that is something that you got to weigh, right? What's more important, your mental health or your weight loss?
Right. 100%. I know some people would choose weight loss, but I think a lot of people are going to choose mental health, you know?
Yeah. And a real simple answer to Eli Lilly is, does Trump like big health right now? Big manufacturer, drug manufacturers. The answer is just one: hell no. So you stay the hell away from these, man. It's okay to do long-term investments. I can't ever tell you what to do there. You guys do what you want to do. But in my eyes, trading-wise, these are the names to maybe look for more shorting action than it is for longs. Just look at the XLV. Look how it can't catch a grip. Every time it tries to come back, it just can't get over this. So until you get out of this kind of bearish range, you don't mess with something like this. You look for things that are hot. You don't try to trade things to the upside that are like falling down. This is like catching a stock that's just like on the downturn and then trying to catch it back up, like Beyond Meat, right? Like, I'm not trying to catch this to the upside. I want to catch names that are actually up on the upside to maybe see if it keeps going.
Sure,
100%. The bros. All right, well, let's keep it going. Let's rapid fire. What's next?
People are saying Microsoft a lot in chat. There was some news that the OpenAI CEO Altman said there was positive progress on discussions with Microsoft. But it's up to you. Yeah.
I love this. Why? Because now we have the gap fill on good earnings. So good earnings brought the stock down. Yes, I said that, right? Good earnings brought it down. Sometimes things don't make logical sense. But that tells us that we need to wait to see the reload. So where's the reload going to happen? When you get the next big volume day. You see this volume downtrend? Look for that volume to change uptrending with the green candle. That's going to tell you Microsoft is getting bought again, and then you'll look to see it go right back towards that 550. I think this is definitely one to keep an eye out on dips. And now you're back to the 90 MA. You filled the gap. You're in the gap zone. I'd look for maybe a potential red to green play today above like 522, 523. Really let it start to show you that it wants to come back to yesterday's high, which is 528.
Makes sense. Yeah.
DRI, home builder. No,
are you talking about Disney?
Darden. No, Darden restaurants. This man wants to go to the restaurant life. It's just a slow grind. I don't think it's going to completely fall off, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere. You got like maybe potentials of 8% down, 8% up. So it depends on how you want to play this. But where is it? It's just stuck in the middle. It's not going anywhere. LAC by Joe, nice mention there. So I've been looking at these names really, and you can see the green line, right? When did I draw this? Created this all the way back in December 16th, looking for that to actually break in the long term. That's when LAC is going to make a bigger move. I think you can continue to watch LAC, and you watch the leaders in the space like ALB and SQM. Names like this start to lead. I've talked about SQM for long-term investment. I think I've even talked about it here. This is a Chile name that has big exposure, that's changing a long-term trend line. It gave you a what I call a throwback look. When you break the trend line, you come back and you reload. So looking really good for long-term play, at least for me. I think this is awesome one to own. I'm still a proponent of ALB and those other names. I think those are definitely names to own. LAC is one to keep in mind, as these have really made a nice push. All about the rare earths kind of push. And you're seeing another name I'll give you guys is UUU. I've traded this on upside and downside, $6 break. And I always love telling people here, like, you know, it's not like I'm cherry picking. You could see created this line on July 25th. July 25th was right around here when we started to see this break. Now looking for it to kind of reload and go higher. You're seeing a lot of these names. That's why MP is so hot.
Yeah, it's
That's
flying,
why
bro.
MP is so hot, because what did they do? They started to do the China move. What does China do? China invests in their own companies to take ownership of them. That's what the US did here in MP, and you can look for others to kind of get that appreciation value.
Right. No, 100%, man. 100%, brother.
All right, last one, Fubo, just because it's just funny.
Fubo earnings today too. They dropped earnings this morning.
The reason why I think it's funny is, if you guys don't know, I actually called this company out before they went and did this huge run to 50 back in 2020. That's why I think it's always a funny one. That's when it was coming on the board, and I was like, yeah, Fubo's going to get a nice little run. It's done the run, but you can also see that had a long-term consolidation that it broke out of, and then we broke actually down through that. So until we can clear that, the stock isn't really in play. You're going to see momentum runs like you got here, quick pushes, but they're also quick pushes to like pretty much sell, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is nice setup for maybe it to go to 5, but it's on earnings, right?
Sure.
I mean, that's pretty hard to play anytime, guys. I can tell you guys that earnings plays are 50-50 at best.
Sure.
So.
And again, I've had Fubo before. I've had Fubo for like a year plus. What I recognize about them is that the content that they have on their platform is good. You know, as a streaming service, the content is good. The sports content is good. The issue is the software. The software is not good. At least the last time I used it, I can literally, if I want to watch The Matrix, I can type in the MATRI. And The Matrix is not popping up. I got to type in the entire name. It's just not, the last time I saw it, it wasn't good software. So I don't know if they've updated it, but that's always made me a little, it always makes me a little nervous about Fubo, just because like for being worth so much, for your software to not search for content like that, that's an issue. That's an issue. You know.
It's not a bad one to look at if we have a nice up day, but yeah, it's one to keep an eye out. I like actually what Disney did here, guys. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Disney do a smaller pullback here, closer towards like the 110, and then really look to see what happens. There's a reason why this volume came in here, guys. I don't think they're betting to the downside. I think the change in what happened in ESPN is a big move for Disney that's actually going to bring them value. The ESPN is at $30 a month just for ESPN.
It's so high.
It's pretty pricey.
Yeah.
It is pretty pricey. And if you can get people to buy it and add to it, which you will, why? Because they did this little hack. So of course they do the bundle, the Disney, Hulu, and ESPN Plus app right now. They're just going to take that ESPN Plus app, delete it, and it's going to become the ESPN app, already a part of that bundle. Which, yeah, it's like $32 or $33, but now you get all 3 of these. And why do they want you to do that? Because it's all about subscriber numbers, right? So their first focus is going to be getting massive subscriber numbers for that ESPN. So look for that. That could run into the football season. There's more games that they'll battle for and things like that. So I trust me, I'm not the biggest proponent of Disney as a brand, but I am gonna make the money if I can make the money, Doug. So,
sure, 100%.
Doug, it can be woke, but I won't go broke.
100%.
You know what I mean? I'm looking for money, and I think that I like to see sometimes like long-term bases break. So you really need to see this long-term base break, which would mean it getting at like 125 and 130. But look for that to happen with good numbers coming out of the NFL in the early part of September. That's why I like also DKNG going into this move. This is a classic gambling play. So I like to look for scare days and then for things to go higher. If you look, we had this big day, what we call like a range expansion day yesterday, where it went above the range and right back to the support. Today's that day where I think you really kind of watch to see what happens in DraftKings. Do they try to scare you and break it down to the lower end? Or look how the top end Bollinger Band is actually closer to the price action right now. And if it breaks 46, it could really get going back towards 50. So
yeah, and we're heading into football. We're heading into baseball finals. We're heading into all that stuff. It might boot you out, Mitch. It said 10 minutes left. I don't know how long that was.
Okay. That's called perfect timing.
Yeah. Hey, space. I appreciate you coming on the stream, man. A lot of good comments about you on the stream, brother. We'll try to maybe do this some Fridays for sure. I know Fridays are days where I'm more free and he's more free. So at least Fridays we'll try to get Mitch on some more. But hey, if what's your socials here? I'll give you a post. If you want to give Mitch a follow, I got you, Mitch. Let me see. I'll put it up in chat right now.
Yeah, and I go all around, guys. I'm on in different places, and the part of that is I like to focus on themes. So if you guys are ever focused on a theme and you guys want to talk about it, hit me up. I'm that guy, man. Right. You guys, if it's lithium stocks, just hit me up with lithium stocks. I'll get you the list. That's what I'm all about. Right. So wish you guys the best of luck, and shout out to Pawn in the chat. It's good to see you out there, man. And he was making some comments there getting me to laugh, but yeah, that's what it's all about, guys. You guys enjoy it. I always have fun with you guys, and some really good chat comments. Hey, guys, keep focusing on that thing. If the number one thing that I'll tell you finds edge for me is focusing on the flavor of ice cream for the day, right? That's what it is, guys. There's themes, and if you have these themes in watch lists, you can just look at the morning instead of wondering what is going up. Literally let the scanner tell you. Just have really good honed in watch lists so that you know what it is that is going up that day. That's right. So important, man. It can 100%. Really change your edge. See you guys next time.
Hey, thanks, brother. Hey, thank you, bro. Hey, appreciate coming on.
All well. Definitely send love to the family, and thank you, keep up with that fighting game. I'm coming over to Texas, and you're gonna kick my ass. But
I'm a blue belt. I'm a blue belt now. We could film it. I would love that.
It's going live on YouTube, baby.
Hey, I'm down. Hey, thanks, bro. Appreciate it, dude.
See you guys
later,
have
brother.
A good one.
See you, brother. Yeah, Mitch is a good dude. Known him for a long time, too. Super knowledgeable, especially in stocks, but in everywhere, economics, all that good stuff. So we'll try to get him on more Fridays. And yeah, let me fix my stuff now here. Hold on. Let me zoom out a little bit. But yeah, we've had some breaking news stuff happen. The big question, it looks like the U.S., we posted this in chat a little bit earlier. It looks like the United States Border and Security confirmed the gold tariffs. So they did confirm the tariffs on gold. We'll see what that means moving forward, but it all but confirmed gold tariffs for the Swiss. And yeah, we'll see what happens here. There's gold after this update here. Let me shrink this and make this a little bit larger. I'm gonna have to shrink this some more. All right, I gotta zoom out a little bit, but yeah, we got a couple minutes into the open. We're gonna open up our day trading and futures right now. And again, if you haven't already, check out TopStep. Just a great way to learn day trading. If you want to learn day trading, don't fund your own account tens of thousands of dollars. It just makes no sense to do that. Instead, try TopStep. They give you a 50K demo. They test your skill. You pass the test, they fund you. You fail, you only lose what you pay for it. The base one's $50 a month, so it's not the end of the world if you lose it. If you pass it, you get a 50K funded account, 90% split, and it's just a great way to learn. When most day traders lose money, so it's limited risk, similar reward to funding your own account. Let me push this to the side a little bit. There we go. All right. NASDAQ's consolidating there. We're not really getting any good action in the NASDAQ. Let me turn the sound volume down for the music now. Yeah, gold broke 3,500s again. It's starting to pull back a little bit. If we take a look at Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin at 117. So Bitcoin still battling that 117 level. If we get a cup and handle like pattern here on the NQ, I will day trade it. Again, I'll put the Top Step link up. They're a sponsor of mine, of course, but I'm biased. But genuinely useful for traders. Great way to learn how to day trade. So here's the link for them. Check it out. Here for the playlist. Yeah, so again, we got MP material still pushing up. Again, if we get a cup and handle like pattern here on the NASDAQ, I will short this. But I got to see if we get one here. It looks bearish, but you never know. I'm going to put my challenge account up here. And we'll short this on that. I'm just going to take a risk here and try to build up a big profit on this one. Slightly green on the day here. There we go. That's good. Oh, then it retraced all the way back up. Very choppy action, though. We got 30 minutes until the opening bell. He didn't really say to buy anything. He said stuff he liked, he disliked. He liked American lithium companies, and I think that makes sense with the tariffs. And some other stuff. I'll have to go back and see all the stuff he said. Yeah, I don't think Mitch trains. I think he's trained maybe a little bit. But I don't think he trains. Yeah, so we had Tempest AI as well. Wolf, Wendy's, Under Armour missed big. DCBO, we had Canopy Growth, PAGP, AMCX. What did Fubo show up as for earnings? So the president's touting another deal here. Again, Swiss government saying tariff discussions with the U.S. are ongoing. All right, so Fubo posted 3-cent loss per share, or 3 cents. They expected 379.97. Versus 355. Oh man, I'm just now looking at this trade. I forgot about it, to be honest. I was doing some other stuff, work in the background. Do I want to add to it? I'm only down about 150 bucks and it's a challenge account, but we're starting to see a spike. I do like I think I just got to cut this. Small. We'll buy a pullback maybe on the long side, but we're very choppy right now heading into the opening bell. It's past 8. It's past 9 a.m. now. Watch me surprise you to be trading for a bit. Honestly, bro, some people are just good, dude. Some people with little training give me problems. I would say usually it's like the CrossFitters, bro. If they're big and they do CrossFit, man, sometimes, you know, I mean, they still lose, but they give me trouble, you know? All right, we're gonna switch this and buy this dip. We'll see what happens. This is a challenge account, by the way, so if we fail, it doesn't really matter. It's $50. We can take a little bit more risk in it than we normally do. I'm waiting for the opening bell. I got beat up in my funded account today, so. Oh yeah, the dude that plays, yeah, Al is actually really good at jiu-jitsu, to be honest. He's very good. He's like a black belt, I think. So is there's a lot of people that are good. Ashton Kutcher's good, I think. Although the rolling footage is, but I think he was hurt when I saw the rolling footage of Ashton. Mario Lopez is very good, very, very good. Mario Lopez will beat you up. There's a couple more. All right, so we're taking a larger risk into this here. But man, we are just getting chopped out this morning. Luckily, it's a challenge account and we can still make it back, but I want to see if we head back up and test that 200 exponential at 550. But a very choppy Friday morning. Your Steam is lagging behind. Stream's running fine right now, 0 drop frames. So if we're lagging, it's on you. Take some risk here. I gotta swing for the fences and combine accounts now. So we'll play with this one, but a perfect double top up there at about 350, 348. Yeah, if you put it in 2x speed, it'll catch up. You just gotta put it in 2x. Alright, so there we go. It's better. Alright. Yeah, you gotta just hit the live button next to the play button. You'll catch up. I'm just glad this is a challenge account too, because man, I think the trend's relatively unpredictable though. It looked like we were gonna start uptrending, and then we just kind of gave all of it back right here. And so, let me make sure there's no news out right now. I'm gonna start cutting this, at least half of the position. It's a challenge account again, just to clarify. If anybody's gonna be like, "You suck, bro," it's a challenge account. We can take the risk on it justifiably, but I'm not happy about it. But it's not like I'm losing hundreds of dollars. What else we got? Yeah, the trade desk is down big. Yikes, bro. Yeah, this was a big fake out. We went up like we were gonna go green, and then the market just turned, and now we're getting kind of like a squeeze down. See if we can earn it back after the opening bell. Make sure no news came out. Under Armour exec says there's about 100 million in additional tariff costs in 26. Again, the U.S. president is going to be signing deals with Armenia and another country on border security, economic cooperation, energy, tech, and trade, according to White House spokesperson Kelly. But again, we did have earlier that the U.S. custom border Protection Service confirms that the gold kilo and 100-ounce barcode will be subject to tariffs. So, confirmed tariffs on the Swiss and gold. It's one of the reasons you see gold pushing up so much. Yeah, my trading's just not good today. It's why I switched to... we were on a 6-day green streak too, but I just don't want to give it back. That's why I switched to a challenge account. We'll switch to our other funded account here too, which we haven't traded on today at all. And figure out what we get. But we're just so sideways right now and everything. Well, it's tariffs on the Swiss. It's not really tariffs on gold. I mean, it's tariffs on gold, but it's the Swiss. So we honestly, just to go back to the challenge account we're on, we're up about 20 ticks on this right now. I'm kind of slowly scalping profits from it as we speak. So we made back actually a bunch of the losses. But I'm going to add to this and then hold the rest break even here. Oh, now we're break even. That happened quick. Yeah, August is here. I mean, September is usually the worst month. So the India Prime Minister Modi says they're looking forward to hosting the Russian President Putin in India later this year. Is this more holiday songs? Yeah, I mean, it's been helping gold. That's why gold broke all-time highs. But this looks bearish for sure. I mean, we've broken down a lot, but that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you never freaking know, man. This is hard. Maybe we'll add around this short here. Open to reject at 36. If we push all the way back up, we're really sideways too. I'm bearish on altcoins until the end of October. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin, it wants to hold that 17 level. But again, we'll see. And I saw a lot of people say they were lost yesterday, day trading. I actually made money yesterday. Today's tough, though. But I actually had a pretty good day yesterday. Yeah, if we push back up, I'm going to trade chop most of the day today unless we get some different trend at the opening bell. So if we push up, I'll just attack choppiness. We're just not really like holding any specific direction. People still negative on Bitcoin. I'm not negative on Bitcoin long term. Short term, who freaking knows? You know, short term, you never know what Bitcoin's gonna do. Where's MicroStrategy at these days? $400s. So yeah, Wendy's cuts profit outlook as stock sales stay weak as stock heads for a 5-year low for Wendy's. Probably justifiably so based off of Wendy's stock. See if we get filled on this limit. Nope. Retrace too fast. There we go. All right, so we made a little bit of money on this trade, but I can't say I'm confident it's going to stay down. See if 535 rejects it. Here we go, somewhat. I took a little bit more off there. Not much smaller position left. We could be looser on. Here we go. Yes, sir. There we go. Add a little bit to this. Now hold the rest break even. See if we keep breaking down. This looks catalyst driven as well. There we go. Cut there. And then we're going to cut there too. So yeah, we're mostly break even now on this one, which is good. That 536 level did reject. Let's see if there's any news, man. That's a big drop. All right, so India's prime minister said he spoke to Putin to deepen India-Russia partnership. Risking too much money to make small money is good or bad? I mean, too much money to make small money. If you're risking too much money, it's bad. Any news of 10% tax? Yeah, I mean, border security confirmed the gold tariffs. Definitely a little bit slower of a day though today though, guys. Not really a lot. Yeah, Quiznos hasn't been relevant in a long time. Neither has Wendy's really. Subway got Walmarted. Subway, I haven't been to Subway in a long time. I've been trying to give up bread to a certain extent, unless it's a burger, to be honest. Don't judge me. Yeah, Jimmy John, less people going to Quiznos than Subway. I like Wendy's. I'm not hating on Wendy's. Wendy's baked potatoes, for the price, they're good. Easy. I like Wendy's. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think a majority of people do. You know, I don't think a majority of people opt for Wendy's when they're looking at their options. I don't get why they say 90% of day traders lose. Why? I started like 15th of April and I'm up 11,000 now. Hey, that's great, brother. That's great, man. Most people do lose though, and the ones that do succeed in the beginning, a lot of the time their luck doesn't last. Not saying yours is going to be that way, but that's kind of what it is for most people. All right, guys, we're going to be day trading the opening bell live. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We got 13 minutes before the opening bell is here. We'll see what we get. We've been day trading most of the morning. Again, the reason most day traders lose, and I'll tell you why, is because they continue adding to losing positions after a certain point. So like if you start to buy into a position, it's kind of, I've explained this week already, but if you start to add into a losing position here and it keeps going down, and then you add more down here and then it rebounds back up and you make money, right? You're going to make money most of the time doing this. Most of the time doing this, you're going to make money. And so you might make green, 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 and everything's good and fine. And you might think, hey, well, I've got some super profitable 90% system. I'm making 30% a day or whatever it is. And again, just like the martingale, it might look like it works for a lot of people. It works until it doesn't. And so eventually you're going to get stuck where you're adding, boom, your whole account's gone. And so a lot of people think they have a profitable system by just adding to losses, and they don't. And I'm not saying that's anybody, but that's what happens to a lot of people, as well as the people that are like, oh, bro, it's easy to make 5%, 6%, 7% a day. No, it's not. And again, the people that need to make 50% of their account a day, again, they double their account, lose everything, you know, and like that's what happens. And so a lot of new traders are in that very same cycle and they just don't know it yet. And so again, keep your money if you make it, you know. Like, I got people messaging me being like, look at my gains, bro. Like, the other part is like day traders fabricate, you know? Like, I got a guy messaging me like, you know, look at these gains, bro, look at these gains. And then you look at his actual social media and you can see some of his average gains and they're much smaller than he's trying to make it out to be. And again, the problem is like people make money, lose everything. And I'm sure there's some people that are really doing it. Again, I can't judge you if you're actually making money, like big percentages. Maybe there's a few people that are actually doing it, but it's certainly not as many people that claim to. With that said, I don't claim anything. I'm not claiming anything. It's not really what my channel's about. Right, exactly. Still 100%. So just be careful. Just be careful. That's the overarching point I'm trying to make here is just be careful. Don't fall for it. Don't risk 50% of your account. Don't risk 20% of your account. Trade small. Build up a large sample size of profits. A large sample size, not a small one. You might do well in a month or two if you trade 2 or 3 times a month. That's not a reasonable reflection of your overall skill. Trade a long time, trade a large sample size, and then look at it that way. Again, limit your risk. Try top step if you want. Limit your risk. All right, guys, we got 9 minutes left, 9 minutes until the opening bell. We'll see if we get anything good. NASDAQ is so sideways and choppy. I'm waiting for the opening bell. It kind of looks like a head and shoulders pattern here, but I don't trust it enough to actually attack it, especially not today with everything going on. The big story of the day is gold. Gold tariffs are scaring, increasing the price of gold because they assume that it's going to be more expensive is why gold would rise on that news. But it's back and forth. Circle. Yeah, Circle is one of those recently hot stocks that have now fallen off a cliff. Recent IPO. This is why I don't play IPOs. Sometimes you get these big runs, sometimes you don't. They almost never hold the big tops they put in, and so Circle just fading back down. Although, again, I'm not really against Circle as a company. It might continue running back up. You never know. It's just volatile. And I try to avoid this type of volatility in terms of investments or swing trades, to be honest. But everybody's different. Psychologically, many cannot get past the idea of losing most of the time, even though you can lose 55% of the time and be profitable. Yeah, 100%. It's also about stepping away on bad days. Like, you got to be willing to stop. Some days are just not good for profits. No matter how hard you push, no matter how many trades you take, some days are just not good. You got to be able to just bow out for the day and roll out of there and just not keep pushing. And that's a skill. Having the discipline to do that is very difficult sometimes, especially when, you stare at screens all day. So I'm actually a much better swing trader than anything. My swing trades are usually very accurate. But, I have my moments in day trading too. What is playing right now? I'm sorry here. Sorry. I don't know what that was. I like the intro, but yeah, markets are just stagnant right now heading into the opening bell. We got 6 minutes left, chat. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it. All right, we're going to end this poll. We got about 800 votes here. Looks like most people think we're going to come in higher for CPI. I'm going to do, are you bullish or bearish for today's opening bell? All right, vote on that poll. Let me know how you feel. I like 80s music. I like Bruce Springsteen. I like The Outfield. I like there's some good 80s music. I have to think about all my 80s. I like Fugazi. I like there's a bunch of bands I like from the 80s. All right, so we're starting to push up. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the 90s. I listened to a bunch of different stuff in the 90s, though. I liked Linkin Park a lot. I liked, honestly, if I have to admit it, I listened to Limp Bizkit some, because that's what was cool in the 90s. I like Blink-182 as well, I like Shinedown. I like DMX. I liked, honestly, I liked R. Kelly when his album came out, too. Everybody had that R. Kelly album when he came out, And so, as risky as that is to say, that's the truth, I never really got into Metallica. I never really did. I was never really into Metallica. I remember the box. Yeah, we're sideways, guys. I'm waiting for the opening bell, so I'm talking music with you guys. Yeah, I like Stained as well. Stained's good. I like Stained. I like Ozzy. I like Tool. I like Avenged Sevenfold. You know, I listen to a bunch of different stuff, man. It's not. I'm definitely not one genre of music. I like System of a Down too. You know. All right, guys, we got 3 minutes. I like Rage Against the Machine. You know. Grunge. I like a little bit of grunge. Honestly, I got a little like. I like Pearl Jam. I like some Nirvana. You know. I like, I don't know if you call it grunge. I like Offspring a lot. All right, we got 3.5 minutes. Or 2.5 minutes, sorry. I'm trying to be honest with my music, too. As some of these are hard to admit. But listen, I grew up in the 90s. I remember all these bands. All right, guys, we got 2 minutes. I skateboarded a lot, too, so skateboard music. Like Mos Def and like other stuff like that was big too. I listened to the original Puff Daddy CD before he was called Diddy, but this was back in like the late 90s. All right, guys, we got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Originally, he was Puff Daddy is what it was, or something like that. Yeah, I like ska. I like Real Big Fish. Or the Mighty Boss Stones, Real Big Fish. I like those. I like Beer by Real Big Fish a lot. I like, Alright, guys, we got a minute and a half. Hims is breaking down. I'm in Hims right now. Apple's had a big dip down. It kind of rebounded pretty quickly, though. Alright, enough music. Yeah, we don't really have any other big breaking news here. We got less than a minute here before the opening bell. I like Sublime a lot. I like how Jacob is now the lead singer. I've been watching a lot of content on that lately. We got 35 seconds left. Amazon slightly green. It gave back a lot of the gains it had this morning. Again, we'll see if the opening bell can break out of choppiness. We did a poll this morning. 57% of people are bullish. 43% are bearish today. So mostly bulls, but some bears for sure. Nasdaq's starting to rebound on this. We'll see what happens. Nvidia, AMD, still down a lot. All right, guys, here we go. Here's the opening bell. All right, so NASDAQ pushing up at the opening bell. We just ran into 550 here at the 200 exponential moving average. We'll see if that has any type of influence. United Health still pretty green on the day. We're watching that. Apple's actually giving some of it back, though, this morning. It's falling down as the NASDAQ and NVIDIA go opposite ways. Amazon breaking down a little bit, too. Look at NVIDIA fall here, but look at HIMS is just ripping up, though, which is nice. Big green move at the opening bell for a lot of stuff here. Look at this. HIMS is up. Look at the NASDAQ fly up here. This is Amazon. Google rip it up to almost $200 a share here. All right, we just tapped 575. All right, look at it. We tapped that 575 level. Now we're going back to 550. I kind of want to buy it, but we're too close to the opening bell. I got to wait. We're honestly very green today now, too. Even our Crocs position is almost green. Hey, I appreciate the donation, Rusty. Thanks. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, bro. Yeah, a lot of green at the opening bell. I was thinking about buying this 550. It's just too close to the opening bell. In hindsight, maybe I should have. Gold, taking a look at it. Gold is up green since the opening bell. Google's still ripping up. Tesla is flying up. It's at 320s. Apple's breaking down. Okay, we are now 3 minutes into the bell. 3 minutes. App loving. Yeah, APP up to 460s at the opening bell today, man. Wow, hit tap 460s even. Crocs is actually going back. We're actually green on Crocs. I think I'm gonna sit in this. We are a couple minutes after the bell. I still gotta wait. Yeah, TTD. There's a reason I didn't want to buy it at the opening bell. Or early this morning in pre-market. The PE ratio is still very high for it. It doesn't mean it's not going to rebound though. Maybe it does. My sweet spot is usually like low PE, big negative reaction to good earnings, and a company that I think is going to be around in 5 or 10 years. And I just don't know enough about TTD to really say that or not. I know the PE ratio is still high, so it doesn't really fit in my parameters of like swing trading dip buys, even with it down being so much. But if it keeps dropping, maybe. I think Mitch kind of mirrored my sentiment where he said he didn't want to buy it until like 38s or 40s or something like that. So, all right, so now we're actually starting to break down a little bit here. Look at this. It's a big correctional dip. Look at this drop. Wow. Swiss precious metal company says they're still actively engaging all relevant stakeholders and Swiss authorities and key U.S. entities. All right, I'm going to buy this dip and take a large risk here just because we could chop. All right, I'm going to take some off right there. We got so green very quickly here. Might as well hold the rest break even now, I guess. Wow. All right, we're going to cut it right there. Dip buy worked. TTD drop mix of earnings guidance. I'm not buying app. It's too high. Google just broke highs again. Amazon's still pushing up. Gold still ripping a higher here as well. Still pushing 560s. Yeah, so Swiss Gold Association says we're concerned that this specific clarification from the U.S. may negatively impact the international flow of physical gold. The imposition of tariffs on gold cast products make it economically unviable to export them to the United States. So I don't know if that's negatively impacting markets for more tariff fears, but again, the Nasdaq ripped up. I'm not anti-catfish. I'm from Louisiana, bro. The main fish I've eaten my whole life is catfish. Catfish is good. I'd rather eat fried catfish than a lot of other fish, just to clarify. Now, if we're talking about, like, pretending to be somebody else catfish, I guess I'm anti that. But we're talking about literal catfish. I love catfish. All right. Nasdaq testing this top of the range here, pushing towards highs of the day, but we've been pretty flat. We're almost up to that 584 high of the day level here. We'll see if we do. Big rebound back up since the opening bell. A lot of strength showing up in markets right now too. United Health just broke highs of the day again. Gold's still very flat. You might be a little delayed on the stream, coach. Hit the live button, bro. All right, United Health at 246s. We get a dip down to 560, I'll buy it, but we're also at the top of the range. And if we do chop for Friday, we have economic reports early next week on Tuesday. So it is very possible that we chop sideways. I don't want to get stuck in that, though. I'm going to wait. What's up, Andy? Hey, thank you for becoming a member, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, we don't really have any economic reports today. IAS, Watt. Yeah, I'm looking at those. So we just tapped the top of the range here. Not quite the highs of the day. We're starting to move back up to test that on the NQ. How about UNH this morning? Yeah, I'm still in my UNH trade. We got a little bit too much momentum on the upside for me to short this now. Here's the highs of the day right here at 584s. Highs of yesterday might be relevant too. So look at that 584 level we just tapped. Big rejection at that level though. Look at this. Yeah, we just tapped 584s. I might buy this dip here. Look for a retest up there. Maybe add to it too if it keeps dipping. We could have chop. There we go. Took half off. We got out the rest there. Pretty good trading since the opening bell. Well, this is the high of the day level right here, so I would be careful shorting it. Just because the momentum's heavy right now. Yeah, there's the rip. Like I said, be careful shorting it. It's the high of the day. Just broke highs. 600 seems like a level, though. Let's see if 600 rejects. Maybe not. Doesn't look like it's rejecting. See if we correct back down. Nasdaq's pumping up though. United Health's still ripping higher. Big strength. Looks like it wants to hold. See if it pulls back now. Big green candles. There's the big pullback that we thought we would get. Big dip here. Under 600s now. But look for 584s maybe, but doesn't mean it's going to hold. Yeah, definitely a little volatile price action. Still strength though, it looks like. I might take some more off of UNH just based off of how green I am on this thing. Crocs is bouncing back. Where's Hims? Hims is flat. I might just sit in actually. I'm going to sit in United Health, I think. I'm not going to take any off. I'm just going to wait. Palantir. Still ripping up, hit 187s. Looks strong here. We're testing that high of the day again. Again, I don't like it enough to get in it, but I'm gonna have to draw some more levels. 625, 650. Yeah, market wants to hold up here. Let's see if it does. but should swing to maybe the downside a little bit here. Picking up momentum and strength still. See if it turns. I gotta start using limit orders. I think limit orders are the better move. Look at UNH, guys. UNH up to 247s right now. Big move on the upside here. A lot of strength this morning. Gold ripping up. Google ripping up here too. United Health still pumping up. Crocs too. Look at Google. Google now back over 200s, trying to test 201s. Amazon. See if we start to get some dips. See if this gets balled up or we continue down. I'll put my funded account up. We've been trading a little bit. We're basically flat still. But I'll show you some of the trades that I'm taking here. Short right now. Take a little bit more off down there. Alright, so we're now green on the day on this funded account. We caught some of this bounce. I just gotta remember to use limit. UNH at 247, still pushing up. Can y'all not hear the music? Reuters poll, OPEC July output rose 270 BPD month over month. Palantir still up. United Health still up. Rox is actually coming back a little bit. AMD's very green, so is Nvidia. Most tech stocks are green today too on this Friday. Okay, yeah, just make sure. You did get a big dip here. Right, we're now under my level here at 625. It's not really a level I like either more. Make this move up here. If we get a dip down to this, I might buy it. I'll buy this right here, maybe add some to it. Took some off. Took some more off. Took some more off there, now green on this one. Cut the rest right there. We bought it exactly at the right time right there, so that's nice. Gold's still pumping up. Look at gold. Gold getting close to all-time highs, which is now way up here for gold. Gold new all-time high. Right there now. Google's still moving up really strong. Here's United Health. What else am I in? I'm in Amazon. Amazon's kind of flat on the day. I'm still green on the position. Then my average price is 212, so we're at 222s. But I'm going to be good regardless there. I'm going to start buying in another position here, see if we can catch a retracement bounce. Go. Took half. Took more. More. Oh, the rest break even. Oh, y'all can't see this one either. Hold on. We caught the bounce. Now we're break even on the rest, but I think I'm just going to let this sit. Eesh. I wanted to go green, and I'm green still, but not green enough to really like it. Gotta be careful for the swing down here. I'm gonna cut it right there. Lulu just hit lows. I'm not gonna say I told you so, but again, trends change. Fashion changes more than anything. I'm probably just going to cut out of here though, guys. And so again, if you haven't already, check out Top Step. Beautiful way to help support the channel. No PDT rule in futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, gold, some currencies. Their new dashboard is out. And so their new dashboard is out. And again, you can kind of see everything here. You know, you can kind of see everything. Sorry, this is my challenge account that we're on right now. And so we're doing okay in this thing, but not the best. But you can track payouts, do a lot of other cool stuff on Top Step. Just a great way to learn how to day trade. Most day traders lose money. And so you can track payouts. You get a free reset every rebuild date. Every time you reset, it pushes your rebuild date back 30 days. Just a lot of really good updates for Top Step. And again, I'll put the link up. Beautiful way to help support the channel. No PDT and futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, gold. Very similar to day trading stocks. No PDT rule. And so I'll put this link up one more time. I appreciate the love. They're a sponsor, but I'm biased, of course. Not an investment professional. Not liable if you lose. Understand all this stuff on screen. What do you guys think we're going to get next for CPI week? Let me know right now in chat. What kind of week do you think we're going to get for CPI next week? Bullish or bearish week? Let me know right now. Yeah, you get a 25% off. There is 25% off for a certain amount of ones too right now, so a good deal. Very high inflation, bearish, bearish, bearish. Almost everybody bearish that's commented so far about next week. Does anybody think we're gonna have a bullish next week with low inflation data and higher increased odds of rate cuts? Let me know. But hey, y'all be good. Have a great day. I'll see you guys later. Y'all be safe. Remember, I have no idea what I'm talking about. We'll be back next week for CPI inflation data.